Welcome to this chapter on the future of personalization and customer relationship management in smart, connected ecosystems. Today, we'll explore how artificial intelligence and big data are transforming how companies create personalized experiences, not just online, but across smart cities and connected ecosystems. The key question we'll answer is, how can firms use technology to build trust, increase customer well-being, and make personalization both ethical and effective? This is conceptualized under the privacy calculus concept. AI and big data are redefining personalization by making it smarter, faster, and more meaningful for each individual. This transformation is built on four main pillars: automated data cleaning, hyper-customized experiences, predictive analytics, and well-being enhancement. First, automated data cleaning allows AI systems to collect and organize huge amounts of customer data, correcting errors, removing duplicates, and updating profiles instantly. For managers, this means every marketing decision rests on accurate and reliable information. Second, hyper-customized experiences make personalization feel almost human. AI can now adapt content, product offers, or service responses in real time, like an e-commerce platform suggesting outfits that perfectly match your past purchases or mood. Personalization has become not only relevant but emotionally engaging. Third, through predictive analytics, companies can anticipate what customers might need before they even ask. For example, a travel app might remind you to renew your passport before booking flights, or a streaming platform might suggest the exact show you'd love after a long day. This kind of proactive support turns personalization into care. Finally, AI and big data also contribute to customer well-being. When systems reduce decision fatigue, promote healthier choices, or simplify tasks, people feel less stressed and more in control of their lives. For instance, smart home devices that balance comfort and energy savings improve both life quality and environmental responsibility. But there's another crucial layer to understand: the privacy calculus. This concept explains how people mentally weigh the costs and benefits of sharing personal data. On one side, the benefits include convenience, tailored experiences, time savings, and even emotional satisfaction. On the other, the costs involve potential privacy loss, data misuse, or feeling constantly tracked. Think of it like this: a customer may allow Spotify to track their listening habits because they enjoy perfectly curated playlists, a clear benefit. But they might hesitate to share location data with a retail app if they don't see an immediate advantage. For managers, the message is simple: customers are willing to share data when the value they receive clearly outweighs the perceived privacy risk. This study was conducted in the context of AI-connected autonomous vehicles, cars that use personalization to make travel safer, smoother, and more enjoyable. AI-connected self-driving cars show how personalization is expanding beyond screens into physical experiences. In autonomous vehicles, personalization becomes a matter of both comfort and safety. Cars that remember your seat position, favorite temperature, or preferred route make travel smoother and more pleasant. But it can also personalize your shopping and restaurant trips. Our research shows how people respond when personalization is introduced into autonomous vehicles. Cars that learn from your habits and adapt automatically. We can see several important relationships here. First, when people feel a sense of social presence, meaning the car or system feels interactive, human-like, or socially responsive, they perceive higher personalization value. In other words, when the technology communicates in a friendly, understandable way, like explaining why it makes certain driving decisions, customers feel the experience is more personal and trustworthy. Interestingly, social presence also reduces privacy concerns slightly. This tells us that when technology feels familiar and human, people worry less about data being collected. They feel more at ease. That's part of the privacy calculus in action. When customers perceive more emotional and practical benefits, the perceived privacy costs decrease. Next, we see that trust increases well-being. When people trust the system, they relax, showing that personalization doesn't just create efficiency, but can genuinely improve emotional comfort. We also see that when data sensitivity is high, meaning customers know the system uses their personal data responsibly, they perceive more personalization value. The strongest effects comes from personalization value that leads to greater well-being and loyalty. So, when customers see clear benefits from personalization, they not only feel better, but are more willing to stay loyal to the brand or technology. From a managerial point of view, this means make the AI feel socially present, communicate empathetically, be transparent about data use to reduce privacy worries. Focus on the emotional side of personalization, not just efficiency. People don't fear personalization when they can see the benefit and feel in control. That's how trust, well-being, and loyalty grow together in the age of smart, autonomous technologies. This study explored generative AI systems, such as digital assistants that personalize conversations and recommendations in real time. For example, an AI travel planner that suggests destinations based on your past trips, or a chatbot that adapts its tone to your mood, or an AI assistant in your daily life in a smart home or city or autonomous car. The findings confirm the same logical chain we observed in autonomous vehicles. Effective personalization increases perceived value. Users feel the system truly understands their needs. This value builds trust, and trust enhances well-being as people feel supported rather than overwhelmed by technology. When personalization aligns with personal or environmental values, such as recommending eco-friendly products, loyalty strengthens even more. The only major barrier is privacy concern. Users hesitate if they fear data misuse. That's why transparency and control remain essential. When customers perceive that personalization is helpful, honest, and under their control, they don't just accept AI, they trust it and stay loyal to it. So, what's the managerial takeaway? To make AI personalization successful, companies must make the benefits visible and the costs invisible. Be transparent about data use, give customers control, allow users to delete history or reset preferences, and clearly explain how data improves personalization and clearly show how personalization improves their lives. When people feel that AI serves them, not spies on them, trust, well-being, and loyalty naturally grow. This study took place in smart homes with AI-powered refrigerators that suggest meals, track expiration dates, and help reduce waste. In the connected smart fridge in a smart home, AI can suggest meals, track expiration dates, and even reorder groceries automatically. Imagine your fridge reminding you that your vegetables are about to expire and recommending a recipe to use them, or automatically adding milk to your shopping list. This turns everyday routines into convenient, personalized experiences that support health and sustainability. These personalized services create massive perceived value because they save time, reduce waste, and improve daily organization. That value strengthens trust. People start relying on the AI to simplify their routine. When trust grows, users feel more at ease and experience higher well-being as they sense the system genuinely supports a healthier and more sustainable lifestyle. And when that happens, loyalty follows. Customers keep using the product and are more open to other smart devices in the same ecosystem. However, too many alerts or notifications can create information overload, which becomes a new cost in the privacy calculus. So effective personalization in smart appliances means offering the right help to treat information and reduce cognitive overload to avoid users feel overwhelmed. From a managerial perspective, there are 3 clear lessons here. If users don't see or understand these benefits, the privacy cost becomes too high. Show the value of personalization clearly. Convenience, health, and sustainability make users more willing to share data. Build trust through transparency. Explain what data is used and how it benefits the customer. AI should treat information and reduce cognitive overload to avoid users feel overwhelmed. In short, that's how personalization transforms from a technology feature into a lifestyle benefit. This study analyzed AI personalization in smart home energy systems, where technology manages lighting, heating, and electricity to optimize comfort and efficiency. Imagine a home that knows when you're about to wake up, warms the bathroom, and turns off unused lights automatically. The personalization process again follows the same logical chain. Smart energy management creates perceived value by saving money and supporting sustainability. That value builds trust as users see the system acts in their best interest. Once trust is established, people feel greater well-being. Their home becomes a place that feels both comfortable and responsible. And that leads to loyalty. They are more likely to keep the system active, recommend it, or expand its use. Still, the privacy calculus matters. Sharing data about energy use or daily presence at home can feel intrusive if the benefits aren't clear. Thus, managers should highlight the value side of the equation: lower bills, greener living, and effortless control. From a managerial perspective, there are 4 clear takeaways. Communicate the purpose of data use. Explain how collected information leads to real benefits, such as cost savings or environmental improvements. Keep personalization subtle. Design the system to act intelligently in the background without demanding constant attention. Balance automation and control. Give users the option to review or override decisions. Highlight the shared value. Show that personalization benefits both the user and the planet. This research focuses on how personalization in AI-based food recommendation systems in smart homes influences people's intention to use them. For example, apps or smart devices that suggest meals, recipes, or grocery lists tailored to personal tastes and health goals. For instance, an app that proposes balanced dinners after tracking your lunch intake, or one that plans weekly groceries while reducing waste. The study reveals that personalization has little direct impact on intention to use and loyalty. Instead, the effect is indirect, via a causal chain working through perceived value, trust, and well-being. When users see that personalization genuinely helps them, saving time, offering healthier choices, or reducing effort, they perceive its value and trust the AI more. This trust translates into greater satisfaction and ultimately loyalty. Once again, the privacy calculus appears. Customers share sensitive information such as eating habits or allergies only when the benefits are obvious and personal. If the system feels relevant, helpful, and respectful, privacy worries fade. For managers, these results send a clear message. Personalization must be experiential. Customers need to see and feel how it makes their life easier. Trust is the bridge. People only accept data-driven personalization when they trust the system's fairness and transparency. Communicate value, not data. Instead of focusing on what data is collected, explain the perceived benefits what the user gains in return, like better nutrition or less food waste. In short, personalization in food recommenders doesn't win users over through technology alone. It wins through trust, relevance, and everyday value. That's how companies turn data exchange into a positive and sustainable customer relationship. In short, personalization wins when customers feel that the AI genuinely makes their daily lives simpler, healthier, and more enjoyable. This research goes one step deeper. It shows why personalization leads people to use AI-powered food recommendation systems in smart homes. Instead of looking at a simple cause and effect, it maps out a chain of psychological processes, showing how personalization affects the way users think and feel before they decide to adopt the technology by exploring the emotional chain behind it. First, personalization leads to empowerment. When users see that the AI understands their tastes, respects their goals, and adapts to their preferences, they feel more in control of their own choices. This is key. The AI isn't making decisions for them. It's helping them make better decisions. That sense of empowerment transforms personalization from something passive into something participatory. Second, empowerment builds trust. When customers feel they can adjust, question, or influence what the AI recommends, their trust grows. They no longer see the system as a manipulative black box, but as a helpful assistant. That's exactly what companies should aim for: personalization that supports human autonomy rather than replacing it. Third, trust enhances well-being. When people trust the system, they relax. They stop worrying about whether the AI is biased or intrusive and simply enjoy its usefulness. For example, discovering new recipes that fit their health goals. This emotional comfort is part of the benefit side of the privacy calculus. The feeling that the technology genuinely improves life quality. Finally, well-being drives intention to use the system and loyalty. When customers feel that personalization adds convenience, reduces effort, and improves health, they want to continue using it. So, the decision to adopt personalization isn't just about the AI's performance, it's about how it makes users feel. From a managerial point of view, there are 4 powerful lessons here. Design for empowerment. Give users control options, like customizing preferences or adjusting recommendations. Communicate transparency. Show how data is used and how users benefit from it. Build emotional value. Highlight how personalization saves time, reduces stress, or supports well-being. Respect the privacy calculus. Ensure customers always feel the value outweighs the perceived data risk. In short, personalization works best when it creates a sense of empowered trust. When people feel both in control and supported, they don't just accept personalization. They embrace it as part of their lifestyle. To illustrate our research, here are 2 examples, compares 2 very different types of AI systems: voice-based assistants like Amazon Alexa and recommendation platforms like Netflix or Spotify, and explains how their design features shape users' perceptions of privacy, trust, and personalization value. Let's start with the first example, voice AI chatbots, such as Alexa. These systems have what we call high social presence. They use human-like voices and conversational language that feels warm and personal. This reduces what we call psychological distance. People feel they are interacting with a companion rather than a machine. Because of this, users experience more relevance and emotional connection. They perceive lower risks and higher transparency. They feel the system gets them. As a result, privacy concerns decrease, trust increases, and the perceived value of personalization rises, as well as user well-being and loyalty. In other words, when AI feels familiar and human, users are more open to data exchange because the interaction feels natural and supportive. That's the privacy calculus again. The benefit, a humanized, helpful experience, outweighs the cost of sharing personal information. Now compare that with recommendation systems like Netflix or Spotify. These systems usually have low social presence. They don't talk, they just show you options through a screen. Because the interaction is purely visual and lacks human cues, it feels more distant and abstract. Users may appreciate the service but don't feel a personal bond with it. This higher psychological distance makes personalization feel less relevant and less transparent. People wonder, how do they know what I like? That uncertainty increases privacy concerns and reduces trust, as well as user well-being and loyalty. Even if recommendations are accurate, the lack of human connection limits how valuable or meaningful personalization feels. In our investigations across smart city environments, we found that personalization plays a pivotal role in transforming urban services into meaningful experiences for citizens. When data-driven systems adapt to individual needs, for example, adjusting mobility routes, energy usage, or local service suggestions, perceived value rises. That value leads to empowerment. People feel they have more control over their environment. Empowerment builds trust because citizens believe the system acts in their interest. With trust in place, well-being improves. Less stress, more comfort, more confidence in the urban infrastructure. And finally, this improvement in well-being drives loyalty and sustained engagement with smart city platforms. However, our research also emphasizes the privacy calculus at work in urban settings. Citizens weigh the benefits of personalization against perceived risks, data collection, loss of autonomy, profiling. To succeed, smart city projects must maximize visible value, ensure transparency, enable user control, and embed personalization as a supportive partner. When done right, personalization in smart cities becomes not only efficient but genuinely citizen-centered, bridging technology, trust, and human well-being.